All right, welcome back, everybody. How are you guys all doing? I thought I'd be back today, but it looks like I'm not here on Monday, so you get this. Uh, for those of you guys who missed it, welcome back. If not, you probably get taught this in class. But enough of that. Let's start with a joke. Okay, this is one of my favorites. What do you call a donkey with three legs? Wonky. Ha, 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 ha. Oh, that's a great one. Okay, so we have got a new topic. We are back and oh, that's not what I want. Wow, what's going on? Technical difficulties today. Okay, so today we're talking about circles. And if you've noticed, I've drawn a circle there because we're talking about circles. So the first thing that we need to do is we actually need to define what the parts of a circle are. Now, there's all these words: radius, diameter, circumference, arc, tangent, chord, sector, segment. There's a couple more, but these are just the important ones that you need to know for this year. So we've got this circle and we've got the point in the center. Sometimes they call that your origin, but we just say center of a circle. Now, there's something called a radius. Now, a radius is simply any line from the center of the circle that goes all the way out and touches the edge. So that there is your radius. And I'm just going to move this over so I know that that there's your radius. Now, diameter. Oops. Diameter is this other thing. So diameter is any line that goes from one side of the circle all the way to the other side of the circle, and it passes through the middle. So that there is your diameter. Okay, so any circle or any line that goes from one side all the way through the other side and touches the center, that's what we call your diameter. Now your circumference, so let's pick yellow. Your circumference is, it's kind of like, do you remember when you did area and you were talking about perimeter? So it's kind of like a perimeter of the circle. We just call it a, man, what's wrong with, that's not a, what kind of circle is that? So a circumference is basically the perimeter of a circle. So let me try again and watch that perfect circle. Boom, just like that. So your circumference, that can stay there. It's just the outside length. Now, if we talk about an arc is a very interesting one. An arc is just part. So it's not the whole thing. But say, for example, we just have something like this. If you can see that little red bit there, I'll make it a little bit darker. So it's part of the circumference, but it's not the whole thing. Okay, so if we just have part of it, we're going to call that an arc. Now, a tangent is this line. You know, when someone or some teachers say, oops, sorry, I went off on a tangent, that means they did something that kind of didn't really relate. Okay, so that's what a tangent is. And so if you have a tangent, it just means any line that's kind of on the outside of a circle. I mean, it touches the circle, but just on the outside. That there is what you call a tangent. Okay, so it just kind of touches the outside of a circle. Doesn't really have anything to do with the circle. It's just on the outside. That's a tangent. Okay, now there's a couple more. A chord. A chord. Let's see if I can get this one. Some of you are probably saying, "Oh, I drive a Honda Accord." I'm pretty sure Mr. Chambers drives a Honda Accord, so that's one for him. But let's take a look here. So we've got, just excuse me while I try to figure out my iPad. A chord is basically any line that goes from one side of a circle to the other, but it doesn't pass the center. So that could be a chord. I could draw another one that goes like this. As long as it goes from one side to the other, that there is what you call a chord. So I'm just going to take that and I'm going to move this over there. That's a chord. Now, a sector is probably the more important one that we're going to look at. A sector is just, think of it as your pizza slice. All right, so I'm going to use that dark green that we had. Okay, so a sector is if I take a part here and I take a part there and I basically color the whole insides. All right, so if I was to talk about this actual space here, that there is a sector. Oops, took the S as well. This is not one of my better recordings. That's okay. So I'm gonna, oh my goodness. That isn't good, is it? Okay, so that green part there, that's a sector. So it's a pizza slice. You take a whole slice out. And the last part is a segment. So a segment very simply means it's a part of the circle, but it's not a portion kind of like the sector. It's just, it relates to the chord. So let me see if I can draw this. Well, first of all, get the right color. So I'm going to pick pencil and I'm going to ease up on how thick it is. So see how there's this part here that's kind of like sectioned off by the chord. That part there, that is your segment. If I don't select the whole circle, I can move that over. So that there's a segment. So the segment is the actual space, the chord is the line. Same thing with the sector. The sector is a kind of pizza cut of the line. So hopefully that makes a bit of sense. And hopefully that kind of allows you to see what is what in a circle. Now, the part that we care most about is the sector. And as I said, it's kind of like the pizza slice of the circle. It's kind of this, it kind of looks like that. And then it's got, you know, circle kind of looks like an ice cream, or sometimes it could be just a larger portion. But it's a portion or a fraction of the whole circle. And now the angle at the center, so that means the angle in the middle here, it kind of tells us what fraction we have out of 360. And so, for example, if we take a look at these and we ask the question, what fraction of the circle here is represented? Okay, so if we look here, how many degrees is that? Now, a lot of you guys are thinking, I already know that's a quarter of a circle, right? You can kind of see that the circle might go, you know, all the way around, and that's a quarter of a circle. Horrible drawing, but you get the idea. But what it technically is the portion is it's going to be, that's 90 degrees because it's a square angle or a right angle. And there's a total of how many degrees are in a full circle? There's 360. So your fraction here would be 90 out of 360. Now, I don't like to leave my fractions unsimplified, so that just is simply going to become 1/4. And I know a lot of you guys already knew that. But how about this one here? If I said, what fraction of the circle is represented here? 23. I'm just like, what is that? It looks like maybe like, I don't know, a 10th. It could be a 12th. It could be 1/15. I don't really know, but I'm going to do the same thing that I know how to do. I know that there's a total of 360 degrees in a circle. But how many degrees do I have just in this picture? I just have 23. And unfortunately, can't simplify this. So that's it. We're done. That's the fraction of the circle that's represented. So hopefully that should help with your first exercise. If there are any questions, leave them in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. I don't know why I said that, but whatever. Enjoy, and I'll catch you guys later. Okay, bye. Happy mathing.